9th time coming to my house. The problem was this time they came to my office and took my kids from an office. Not from my house, from an office. So now when I can't have my kids at my office, that's an issue.
If you step out of line, they don't just cancel your shows, they erase your entire life. Those were the chilling words spoken behind closed doors by people who tried to expose the dark underbelly of Hollywood. For years, we were taught to look at daytime television as a safe haven, a place of joy, laughter, and lighthearted dancing. But what if the person handing out free cars and telling you to be kind was actually working as a gatekeeper for one of the most sinister networks in human history?
Why do you think she tried to put me in an institution?
When comedian Katt Williams sat down and blew the lid off the entertainment industry, the world stopped to listen. He didn't speak in riddles. He called out names, dates, and the exact mechanics of how powerful figures operate in the shadows. He warned us that when a celebrity reaches a certain level of power, their image is no longer just about entertainment.
Oh, Ellen? Was that Ellen?
Yeah.
Really?
Just look at the temple and then look at the...
Let me see Ellen's background. What? Oh, similar. That looks like a building.
It becomes a shield designed to protect a massive, interconnected web of influence, leverage, and absolute silence. And right at the center of this web, connecting the glitz of Hollywood to the horrors of Jeffrey Epstein's private island, stand two figures whose names were never supposed to be spoken in the same sentence: Ellen DeGeneres and Ghislaine Maxwell. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on how these two women, operating in completely different worlds, used the exact same playbook to silence victims, manipulate the public, and protect a system that feeds on human sacrifice. To truly understand how deep this rabbit hole goes, we have to go back to a time before the headlines, before the lawsuits, and before the world realized that the smiles on our TV screens were nothing more than a carefully crafted mask.
How many grown men email each other about getting pizza, or about how tasty the pizza was, or about how many slices you can slice a pizza up into, or how many people will be at the pizza?
The pattern was obsessive, but it wasn't just pizza. It was the way they talked about it. Red Hook, chilled containers, walking beef jerky, jerky in freezers when jerky doesn't need to be refrigerated.
It's glaringly obvious when they say pizza and when they say jerky. That's glaringly obvious. How do you walk jerky?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And why do I need a chilled container to, a chilled bag or whatever they say?
Jesus Christ.
Katt Williams' rise in Hollywood was built on raw, unfiltered truth. He was a man who came from nothing, slept in park benches, and fought his way to the top of the comedy world without selling his soul. Because of that, Katt saw how the sausage was made. He watched up close as young, hungry talent entered the industry with big dreams, only to be dragged into private rooms and handed a choice: cooperate with the handlers or watch your life fall apart. On the other side of that coin was Ellen DeGeneres. Back in the 90s, Ellen was a rising star struggling to find her footing in a cutthroat business dominated by powerful men.
We were told not to look her in the eyes. When Ellen is walking through the halls, you don't look at her, you don't make eye contact, you do not talk to her. This was all the time. After the show, she would be rushed out into her car and leave. We could not have any contact with her.
When she came out publicly in 1997, it was framed as a historic moment of bravery. But behind the scenes, industry insiders knew she was taking a massive gamble. To survive in Hollywood after making such a bold move, Ellen needed protection. She needed powerful allies who could guarantee her safety, secure her network deals, and ensure that she would never be pushed to the margins. Enter the elite social circles of New York, London, and Los Angeles, a world where political powerhouses, billionaire financiers, and media moguls overlapped.
Every opportunity she got to block you from working to support your family took that from you as well. And shame on the people who went along with it.
This was the world orchestrated by Ghislaine Maxwell, the daughter of publishing tycoon Robert Maxwell. Ghislaine was not just Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend, she was the architect of his social empire. Her job was simple yet terrifying: groom young girls, recruit high society figures, and build a massive black book of leverage. If you were anybody in the world of high finance, politics, or entertainment, Ghislaine Maxwell was your ticket into the inner sanctum.
Why do you think she tried to put me in an institution, folks? I called my mother. Guess what? 2 people who wanted more than anything to have my truth buried.
By the early 2000s, Ellen had transformed from a struggling sitcom star into daytime royalty. The Ellen DeGeneres Show launched in 2003, and almost overnight it became the most influential promotional tool in Hollywood. If an actor had a movie to sell, they went on Ellen. If a politician wanted to look human, they danced with Ellen. But what the public didn't see was how this daytime platform was secretly being weaponized.
Frey, the most prominent victim of the late convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, took her own life on Thursday. This is just weeks after she made headlines for saying that she had days to live after she claimed to have been hit by a bus. A statement given to NBC News was quoted as such from the 41-year-old.
Katt Williams revealed that daytime talk shows weren't just about ratings, they were about narrative control. If someone in the network was facing a rumor or a scandal, Ellen's show was where they went to wash their hands clean. And if someone was threatening to expose the network, Ellen's platform could be used to isolate, humiliate, and utterly destroy them. What nobody expected was how direct the line actually was between the daytime studio set and the infamous private island in the Caribbean. When the sealed court documents and flight logs from the Epstein estate began leaking into the public domain,
I don't believe that she took her own life. People are going to say whether or not she's even dead. If she wants to disappear from the face of the earth, this is how you do it, because maybe she just wants to not deal with this anymore. But I won't believe ever that she deliberately took her.
Internet sleuths and independent journalists started noticing a disturbing pattern. Ghislaine Maxwell's Black Book didn't just contain political figures, it was packed with media executives, talent agents, and A-list celebrities. And then came the bombshell that sent shockwaves through the industry. Ghislaine Maxwell had allegedly secured non-disclosure agreements and secret settlements with dozens of prominent public figures. These weren't standard business contracts. These were silence agreements, legal iron curtains designed to keep victims from talking and to ensure that powerful enablers remained protected.
He made his way over to the ambulance. You see it right there. He jumps up out of that gurney. It was horrific, scary.
But while many names were scrubbed or redacted under court orders, Ellen DeGeneres' name began appearing repeatedly across flight records, high society event rosters, and private email correspondence linked to Epstein's inner circle over 300 times. Katt Williams pointed out what mainstream media refused to cover. In Hollywood, coincidences on this scale simply do not exist. When you see a daytime host holding immense power while simultaneously moving in the exact same social orbits as global traffickers, you are looking at an operational bridge. Consider the case of Anne Heche.
I want to take you back to a time in my life where I tried to commit suicide a couple of times because it was so dark. I thought the only way to make this better, this pain go away, is to end my life. Had any of those attempts happened, I would have missed the best.
In the late 90s, Anne was one of the brightest young actresses in Hollywood, starring alongside A-listers in blockbuster films. When she began dating Ellen DeGeneres, their relationship was splashed across every magazine cover. But what started as a high-profile romance quickly spiraled into a living nightmare. When Anne attempted to walk away from Ellen and began dropping hints about the toxic, controlling nature of Ellen's world and the powerful figures backing her, the machinery of Hollywood turned on her instantly.
So you think he did not die by suicide, given all the things we just talked about?
I do not believe he died by suicide, no.
And do you believe that, do you have any speculation or view of who?
No, I don't.
And what about Epstein's infamous client list? Did he even have a list?
You never observed or you never saw any sort of list or black book or a list of individuals who linked to certain masseuses or
Absolutely
anything
no.
like that?
Absolutely no. There is no list. There is no, I'm not aware of any blackmail. I never heard that. I never saw it, and I never imagined it.
The list doesn't exist.
Anne was blacklisted from major studio films within weeks. She lost multi-million-dollar deals, was branded as crazy by media outlets, and was systematically isolated from her peers. But it went even further than career sabotage. Reports surfaced that high-level pressure was applied to have Anne institutionalized, a classic tactic straight out of the silencing playbook used against Epstein's victims. If a witness or victim speaks out, you don't just deny their claims, you make them look mentally unstable so that no court or public audience will ever take them seriously. When Anne H. finally broke her silence years later, preparing to release a tell-all memoir detailing the psychological abuse, the blacklisting, and the hidden networks of control she witnessed during her time with Ellen, tragedy struck.
I don't recall ever seeing him in his house, for instance. I actually never saw the president in any type of massage setting. I never witnessed the president in any inappropriate setting in any way.
On August 5th, 2022, Anne's car crashed into a Los Angeles home under extremely strange and chaotic circumstances. Aerial news coverage captured a moment that left millions of viewers horrified and confused. As firefighters wrapped Anne in a white sheet and loaded her onto a stretcher, she suddenly sat up, pulling at the sheet, clearly alive, alert, and fighting. Yet within hours, media reports shifted dramatically, declaring her brain dead, and she was taken off life support shortly after.
So that's a Bureau of Prison Security issue that I will not talk about.
Did you have anything to do with it? Did you have anything to do with it?
Let me finish. First of all, I am responsible for the Bureau of Prisons. So every decision that they make lands on my desk to the extent it needs to. But just let me talk about the security issue. At the time that I met Miss Maxwell, there was a tremendous amount of scrutiny and publicity towards her. And the institution she was in, she was suffering numerous threats against her life. So the BOP is not only responsible for putting people in jail and making sure they stay in jail, but also for their safety. And so
just months after Anne's tragic demise, another key figure closely linked to Ellen's inner circle met a shocking end. Stephen Twitch Boss, the beloved DJ and co-executive producer of The Ellen DeGeneres Show, was found dead in a Los Angeles hotel room in December 2022. The official ruling was suicide. Twitch was known worldwide for his radiant energy, deep family devotion, and warm spirit. Yet sources close to the situation whispered that in the months leading up to his death, following the cancellation of Ellen's show amidst workplace abuse scandals, Twitch was deeply troubled by things he had witnessed behind the scenes. He was a man trapped between his loyalty to a brand that built his career and the heavy weight of secrets he could no longer carry. Katt Williams highlighted this exact pattern. Whenever the legal walls start closing in on this network, the people holding key pieces of information begin disappearing. Look at the timeline. In mid-2022, Ghislaine Maxwell was sentenced to 20 years in prison. That exact same month, Ellen DeGeneres ended her talk show after nearly 2 decades on air. Weeks later, Anne H. dies in a suspicious crash. Months later, Twitch is dead. And shortly after, Ellen buys massive estates overseas, effectively fleeing the country to retreat into isolated estates in the United Kingdom. How does a system like this maintain its grip for so long without collapsing? It relies on the total destruction of the human spirit. The emotional impact on the victims, the whistleblowers, and their families is unimaginable. Imagine knowing a horrific truth about a powerful individual or network, but knowing that if you speak up, your career will end overnight, your name will be dragged through the mud, and your physical safety will be put at risk.
In order for the type of ratings we need and attention to be on this thing. See, what I'm saying is, in business, nothing is coincidental, or you will be hearing who's losing money. In all of these situations, it's only the artist that's losing. Somebody makes big money. When these rappers get killed, not incidental. Somebody made $100 million and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew, don't have to validate none of their contracts. Now only got to deal with the mama, only got to see her once a year, and it's over. And the money goes up and up and up.
Victims who tried to speak out against Ghislaine Maxwell and her high-profile associates were subjected to decades of intimidation. They were followed by private investigators, threatened with financial ruin, and told that no one would ever believe a word they said against the rich and powerful. The psychological toll of being silenced creates a lingering trauma that destroys lives long after the physical abuse has stopped. Families are torn apart, relationships collapse under the pressure of constant paranoia, and careers that took decades to build are destroyed in an instant. For someone like Katt Williams, taking a stand against this machine wasn't just a career risk, it was a life-threatening decision. Katt openly acknowledged that by speaking out, he was putting a target on his own back, but he chose to do it anyway because he saw the irreparable damage being done to young artists and vulnerable victims who didn't have a voice. The pain of watching friends, colleagues, and innocent people get chewed up and spit out by a corrupt system is what drove him to break the unwritten code of silence. What we are witnessing today is not just a collection of random Hollywood scandals or isolated internet conspiracy theories. It is the gradual, painful exposure of a system built on leverage, exploitation, and absolute control. For decades, figures like Ghislaine Maxwell operated in the dark, buying silence and weaving a net so big that even federal law enforcement hesitated to touch it. And figures like Ellen DeGeneres used their public persona to project warmth and kindness, hiding the ruthless reality of how power is actually maintained behind closed doors. But the narrative is finally breaking. The brave whistleblowers who refused to stay quiet, the comedians like Katt Williams who dared to speak the truth on massive platforms, and the millions of ordinary people who refused to look away are forcing these secrets into the light. The powerful may have money, high-priced lawyers, and media networks on their side, but they cannot stop the truth forever. As more court documents are unsealed and more former insiders find the courage to step forward, we are left with a sobering reality. The mask of Hollywood has slipped, and it can never be put back on. The question is no longer whether this network existed, but how much longer the remaining operators can hide before the scales of justice catch up to them once and for all. Before we wrap this up, take a moment to really think about what we just uncovered, because this isn't just about Hollywood gossip or another celebrity scandal. It's about a massive, high-stakes machine that operated in plain sight for decades. Every time someone tried to blow the whistle, every time a victim tried to demand justice, the system found a way to bury the story, wipe out the evidence, and destroy the lives of those who dared to speak out. But as Katt Williams reminded the world, the truth has a funny way of clawing its way back to the surface, no matter how much money or power is trying to push it down. The people who sacrificed everything to bring these secrets to light deserve to be remembered, and the victims who were silenced for years deserve to finally be heard. The mask has slipped, the illusion is completely shattered, and we are only seeing the very tip of the iceberg. There are still sealed documents, protected names, and unanswered questions that the powerful are desperately hoping you'll just forget about. If you believe it's time for full accountability and you want to keep following these deep dives as more of the truth gets unsealed, make sure to hit that like button right now, subscribe to the channel, and turn on all notifications so you never miss an update when new evidence drops. Your support keeps this platform independent and helps us bring these hidden stories out of the dark. Drop a comment below with your thoughts. Do you think the full list of names will ever be exposed, or is the system still protecting its own? Thank you for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.